Hey guys, it's Grayson with Gaming for the People here. If you guys like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys make it all the way through the video, please comment your favorite Danganronpa character. You know what? Without further ado, let's hop in. And then there's only one person who seems to fit. It was Celeste. Oh, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do this kind of joke. A joke? I wonder. So what you're saying is then, is that I specifically chose to work with Hifumi. The idea that I would spend any amount of time interacting with him is that I would go 10 feet, within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiots! Pardon moi. Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it. Is that so? It is. Throughout the investigation, there was a certain behavior that was common only between the two of you. Considering what we learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together. What is it that Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering the suspicious individual. The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? They were the only ones who actually ever saw Robo Justice firsthand. Shush! The adults are talking. Sorry. As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costume individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but also suspect what Celeste has said as well. Are you saying everything they told us was a lie? After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we have begun our search through the individual, correct? And not after long, do you remember what Celeste said? I saw a shadow. Something moving across the top of the stairs. We headed to the second floor, specifically because of what she claims to have seen. Next, the draw to the physics lab on the third floor, she said. She let out a blood-curdling scream. And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said? Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, a strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I blocked the scare so he ran further down into the hallway and disappeared. Once she had done her job getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work. Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been. Hifumi, she's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, guys. We have to go. It was to get us to divide into two groups, so we discovered that both bodies at the exact same time? In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed we split up. Then why don't we split up into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well. Then Makoto and Hina, you will come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura. Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were looking together, all of those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, That piercing cry of yours early on. Ah! That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling us we were on the 3rd floor. Everything is going according to plan. Why else would you have let out a scream that could have carried across the sea? I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead. I was certainly not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered. Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You want us to make sure we wouldn't have had any doubt in our minds. I don't believe it! I think it was just one big act! Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right? Yeah, I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait, then that was... She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office. Each piece isn't much by itself, but putting it together, and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste? I have no idea what you mean. Don't even try to deny it. You made one fatal mistake. Oh, did I? You didn't ever catch it when I didn't even catch it when you first said it. But looking back, I can say that one little slip up was your undoing. What are you talking about? I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office. They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around fretting and confused. We're all gonna die, dude. We're all gonna die, just like those guys did. I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it. Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were the first one to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then, Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we were in Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time, none of us had said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it, Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place. I see what you're talking about, although I don't really get what it means. Do you hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right? Byakuya said that Celeste's comment didn't make any sense. But what is he alluding to? That's right! There was no reason for Celeste to have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told us that Taka was dead. Exactly. And we didn't run into her after we were out of the hall. So there's no chance that for her to have seen his body and equipment for herself. So, how did you know, Celeste? How did you know that more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? She could have also been dead. You all have such vivid imaginations, you know that. Imaginations? You claimed that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed man dragging his baby away? It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture. Have you already forgotten? You're the only one who could have possibly fit in that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist? Simple. Are we sure that's a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away? What could you possibly mean by that? Surely there were other explanations. Surely there were other explanations than the one you offered up. There is no other explanation. Other explanations? If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is it's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away. That's certainly in the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in the picture isn't Hifumi, but the one in the robot suit. We've all been misled to believe it's the other way around. And the strange costume only exists to lead us astray even further. If you saw a strange person wearing that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious. That's what happened. You put me asleep and made me the bad guy to all of this. Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragged away? Ridiculous. Is it? I don't believe it's ridiculous at all. Then shut your mouth and then let me educate you. So let's conclude that there's a way that Hifumi was dragging. Celeste believes there's no way to prove that Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? Sorry, Celeste, you're wrong again. No, even if the person was in the suit wasn't. No, even if the person inside the suit weren't conscious, they could stand up like that. Because the robot Justice had a certain characteristic. You totally can't bend at the waist. It seems like a totally obvious oversight. That's right. They totally made the mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist. I'm not sure that was a mistake. I believe that the suit was designed like that from the very beginning. Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they specifically designed and stuffed Hiro into it. And that's how they were able to fake the whole thing. The point of it was to make us believe that whoever was inside the suit was to blame. Then I suppose this is checkmate. Checkmate? Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly you want to cram me in your little guilty box. Well, there's one problem. Have you really forgotten what the later Fumi told us as you lay dying? Hey, Fumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? I remember one name. When we asked him directly who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, Mom. He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Yagakure! Whoa, wait! But my name isn't actually Yasuhiro. It's actually Toro. Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated. He did say Yasuhiro, but to always show he was actually pointing the finger at Hiro. What the hell are you talking about? They'll burn you alive! Kyoko, what do you mean by that? Think about how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to us? That's right, our last names. He quoted us by our last names. Exactly. I know I've heard him say Mr. Naegi from more than once, for example. So, if Hifumi did say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name. Hagakure. I'm sure it was just incident. By chance, he just happened to use his first name. Indecent. Don't talk. Random chance. Now, isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to believe that he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could have said anything more. So Hiro was trying to tell him the last name of the killer, of the person whoever killed him. But that name that you just said doesn't apply to anyone here. No, hold on. There is one person it could apply to. Not Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is. What did you just say? To think that you would take a false accusation so far. I don't even know whether to spit or laugh. Come on, enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro's a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge. Okay then, listen. What is your real name? Fine. Make sure your ears are wide open and listen up. My real name is Celestial Ludenberg. Will you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again? Celeste still won't give up, so I had to do something to make her accept it. Oh, well, there we go. That's it, the handbook! What? Anytime you turn on the handbook, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us about it before. This
This handbook is absolutely essential to a healthy scroll life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now then, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that. So, all we have to do is check our handbook, and everything will clear up. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name. That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to participate. Celeste, can you just tell me what really happened? Please, just tell us. Even if I'm gonna put in a check, it is not in my nature to do that. Because until the game is over, you never know what might happen. Fine, then let me settle it. Let me go over the case one more time from the beginning and shed the light on all of your crimes. And that'll bring an end to everything.
Alright guys, I think I'm gonna stop today. Nope, never mind, I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna stop today's video. In this case, how did the killer... What time did the killer... summoned their first they knocked him out, stuffed him in the robot juice to falsify evidence, and they used a certain item to do it. What time was Taka supposed to meet in the... The robot justice that was used to kill Taka, what number was it? In the library, Hifumi was used something. In the library, Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a shadowy figure. Which justice hammer was used in the nurse's office? Hifumi used something to... Alright. But for anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder, and that person was... Hifumi. Within the compass, the killer was able to execute a murder otherwise impossible... Within the compass, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet in the rec room late at night. Last night, at 1 in the morning.
that someone they'd met up with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro as the prime suspect, so when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him in the robot justice suit. Next, Hifumi positions himself to make sure it looked like a robot justice was attacking him. And all while, the killer used the digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all of this to create evidence that would put suspicion on Hiro. And when they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then, finally at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They decided to call Taka to the equipment room. And that's what they murdered. That's where Fumi killed them, making it look like the scene of the. And that's where Fumi killed them, making it the scene of the first murder. Ooh, that was a tongue twister. The murder weapon was just as Hammer forward, which was left there in the equipment room. And the reason why it was number 4 was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So next they needed to falsify 2 more incidents. These attacks, the killers pretended to be victims to solidify robot justice as the suspect. The first incident happened in the rec room, where the killer wanted us to see justice to Hammer 1. In the robot justice picture, the robot justice pictures they had taken. They wanted to make sure that we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planned to justice Hammer 2 with an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception of minds. And the suspect was increasing the sizes of the hammers and attacking people. The suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking the people as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for suspects based on that fact. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This is exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator, and just as Hammer freed, he turned the room into a crime scene, which he himself had been apparently brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's when we found. Meanwhile, the other group had been searching around. Meanwhile, the other group that had been searching around found Taka's body at the exact same time. When we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. When we left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation, he simply got up and made his mistake. And that's when we realized his body disappeared, and we all rushed back to the nurse's office. Once again, Hifumi had the chance they've been waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know the killer. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan was to kill Hifumi all along and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And after all, they did it. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover the case, and the villain behind it all is Celeste. I'm sorry. You lose. I lost.
Alright guys, I'm stopping today's video there. And if you guys like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.